You should not be aware of this. In fact, they beg me not to share it because once you understand how female psychology really works, you can't be manipulated. You can't be pushed around. You are unplayable. You haven't heard this kind of gentle advice before. This is the raw truth about what women actually crave, the things they will never openly admit. Once you know it, you'll start to see the game for what it is, and you'll never be able to unsee it. First, they require your attention. However, they yearn even more for your absence. Every man believes that women want constant attention, and why wouldn't they? That's what we're taught: be available, make her feel special, and give her everything she needs. However, here's the truth: women won't tell you anything. They don't just want your attention, they long for you to be gone. Doesn't it sound crazy? However, it's pure psychology. When you're always there, texting constantly, answering every call, and available at her every whim, you're safe, predictable, and comfortable. Even though women may say they want this, they really don't. Why? Because space is where desire thrives. When you step back, when you create just enough distance for her to miss you, for her to wonder what you're doing, for her to feel that little knot in her stomach when you're not around, that's when you become addictive. It's not about ignoring her, it's about not giving her access to you around the clock. It's about being a man with a life, a purpose, a mission that doesn't revolve around her. Because of this, the too nice guy never succeeds. He believes that giving her constant attention will provide her with a sense of security. However, security without mystery is boredom. She may adore him, but she doesn't yearn for him. The real kicker comes here. Even the most self-assured and independent woman needs to experience the thrill of desire and that spark of uncertainty, not about your commitment, but about your focus. She must know that she doesn't fully own you. She falls in love with the man who disappears into his own world because of this, a man who can work on himself, his goals, and his craft for hours without being glued to his phone, waiting for her approval. This drives her crazy. She won't admit it, but you're more on her mind when you're not always available. She glances at her phone. She replays your last interaction. Because your presence is no longer guaranteed, she starts to crave it. Women don't want you to disappear, but they want to feel like they don't fully control you. They want to know that you care more about yourself than you do about them. At that point, your presence becomes energizing. Before we go further, I have something for you. It's called the Attraction Handbook. In it, I detail the specific psychological factors that, with just a few simple moves, cause a woman to crave you. Grab it in the description or the pinned comment before it's gone, because it's free for the time being. Second, her tests are not meant to annoy you, they are about discovering your true identity. Men despise being tested by women. Why does she seem cold? What's causing her difficulty? Why doesn't she simply value me for who I am? But here's the harsh truth: her tests aren't about annoying you. They're about discovering your true identity. When a woman acts cold or annoys you, she's not acting out, she's testing to see if the man you claim to be is the man you really are. Women live in a world where men put on shows. They act confident, stable, and grounded until pressure hits, and then the mask slips. So, she tests you. She takes longer to reply. She responds with sarcasm. She plays with boundaries and observes your actions, not your words. Are you spiraling? Do you become dependent? Do you lash out, or do you remain composed, unmoved, and grounded? Most men fall short. They either explode in rage or do whatever they can to regain her approval. Both reactions tell her the same thing: you don't have control over yourself. The passing man doesn't take it personally. He doesn't overreact. He recognizes the test for what it is, an opportunity to show that his emotions aren't dictated by her behavior. That's when she feels something powerful: respect. She realizes she can't manipulate you. She can't shake you. You are who you say you are, without needing her validation. This is why so many women gravitate toward unassuming men, not because they're indifferent, but because they won't let tests break them. The key is this: once you pass her test, you become the rare man she can trust, not because you told her you're strong, but because you proved it without saying a word. Third, she won't tell you this, but she wants a man who can turn down a relationship. Every man thinks women want someone who will give them the world, complete all her requests, agree with everything she says, and never rock the boat. However, here's the truth: women won't admit it, but they want a man who can tell them no, not out of spite or dominance, but because he knows his limits. This goes beyond simply declining a request. It's about showing her that your life doesn't depend on how she feels, what she wants, or whether she likes it. When you can say no to plans you don't agree with, to behaviors you won't tolerate, to anything that violates your standards, you communicate clearly: I lead myself. If you're with me, you're a part of my world, not the other way around. That's powerful. That's unusual. That's attractive because women test boundaries constantly, not Because they want to destroy them, but because they want to feel the edges of your resolve. They want to know that you won't collapse under pressure in the event of chaos. Men who can't say no end up being resented. She might appreciate their compliance for a moment, but deep down, she loses respect for them. How can you advocate for her if you can't stand up to her? But when a man says no in a calm, firm, and sincere way, it flips a switch. She perceives power. She feels safety. She knows this is a man who can't be bought with affection or controlled with emotions. That is the man she can't stop thinking about, even though she won't say it out loud. Fourth, her attraction is more emotional than physical. The biggest lie is this: you've been duped into believing women only want men who look a certain way. Or have a certain status. But the truth is, her attraction to you is emotional before it's physical. Looks and status may open doors, but they don't keep her there. She doesn't think about you at night because of them. She doesn't become dependent on them when you're gone. What keeps her is the way you make her feel. Most men never realize this. They believe that performing, showing off muscles, displaying wealth, boasting about accomplishments, is the key to attraction. But women don't obsess over the man who impresses them, they obsess over the man who moves them. She doesn't recall you when she's in bed at night because you showed her your resume. It's because you made her feel alive, seen, safe, excited, desired. Emotional connection is more important than men realize. When you're grounded and calm, you make her feel safe in a world that's anything but. When you play, tease, and make her laugh or cry, you make her feel alive. When you stand firm during her storms, you help her feel grounded despite the chaos. That's what causes emotional dependence. Think about the men she can't forget. They didn't always look the best.